What's up everyone, and welcome back to Miss Azrael's Gaming. So today we're going to jump back into Tavern Talk, and if you remember from the last episode that we did, everybody is set out on these big quests to stop, what's the guy's name? Is it Gareth? I could be wrong. I do not remember his name, because I'm really bad with names till I hear it like repeatedly. But everybody was set out to find him, and he showed up in our tavern, which I absolutely 100% knew was going to happen. So we are on Act 3, The Twilight Flood, 23, The Wheel of Fortune, 34th of the Astral Moon. And we're going to find out how the quests are going along, because I'm sure somebody's going to be back at some point. Let's see, what is that guy's name? I completely... Quasar. That's it, Quasar. Why do I want to call him Gareth? I don't know. I have no idea. Okay, so good morning, Innkeeper. Good morning, how's your research going? Well, we did a lot of it. That sounds good. Yes. I can smell a breakthrough right around the corner. Are you writing that down, Archie? What? No, of course not. No notes are being taken here. None. Archie, I told you already. I might be the bestest detective in Phoecia, and this might be the meeting of a lifetime. But the investigation has to come first. How are you going to have time to write a book about my detective career if the world ends in a few days? I mean, it won't, obviously. Because our friends are super strong and awesome, and we're super smart and awesome. But we still focus on backing them up. I'm sorry. It seems I can't help but gather material even now. You're a very impressive detective, and... I fear what will happen if I stop thinking about my books. Is this what I think it is, Detective Melina? I'm afraid it is. Excuse me? It's a severe case of the nerves. Quick, Innkeeper, we need a remedy. Only your most revitalizing drink will do. Does the patient agree with their prescription? Really? It's not that serious. Thank you. Perhaps a cure that'll boost my toughness is just what I need. On it, patient zero. Oh, Andu, he's all better now. Yeah, he was very scared when Quasar showed up. But Andu is good now. Okay, so we need a defensive drink, which would be the Frosted Lagoon. There we go. May this drink not be one of your tougher challenges. This is excellent. I could write a novella about the superb taste alone. I really appreciate the effort to cheer me up. I suppose I've been worrying more than I realized. How can I repay Rishmay? You shouldn't just bear your worries silently. I would accept an update on your research as compensation. Certainly, we are happy to oblige. I thought my knowledge of tales and myths could serve us well in identifying another weapon to slay evil. So I questioned as many scholars and turned as many pages as I could. That sounds exciting. It might have been, if I had managed to find even a hint of anything useful. What? Oh my goodness. Exthalberry? Exthalberry is nothing but a legend. I have no idea what that's supposed to be. The Lance of Laguinis might be real, but it proved impossible to trace its location. And don't even get me started on the history of Sword Balmer. My research ended in total failure. Don't say that. We wouldn't have known that there aren't any other weapons if you hadn't looked. It just means we have to move our research focus to something else now. Like my investigation. Oh? Like I mentioned the other day, I really wanted to look into this weird bad guy, who he really is. With a plan like this, he can't just be some random nobody. His plan does have a certain je ne sais quoi. Je ne sais quoi? It's just so mustache-twirling malicious. I bet he has a mustache. In any case, he must have left some traces that we can follow. And if we can figure out his identity, we'll know his mortal weakness. Like a lover? Like an old wound? Like a lover? Exactly. Once we know their identity, we can find them and... Wait, no, I don't condone kidnapping. Maybe we could just tell them about all the evil stuff this guy's doing and they could give him a really long lecture. Okay, maybe that isn't the best idea. Still, Carlin always says the more you know about your opponent, the easier the victory. But this guy's like a ghost. No one had seen hide nor hair of him before all of this started. And here I thought armor like that would have made him super recognizable, with the flowers and all. I did look up what some of them mean, the ones Clay was able to identify. There are petunias and marigolds, which symbolize resentment, anger, grief, and mourning. So that told me absolutely nothing. Beside that, he's a bad guy with some big feelings about the world, duh. I like how we're just staying quiet. Then I got an idea. What about other well-known necromancers? Maybe we have a repeat offender on our hands. No one really seemed to fit, though. I was really, really close to ripping my fur out. But then I remembered all that stuff about the sigils. There actually was a necromancer that died when the portals opened. So I dug that file out of my pile, and yes, if the creation of the portals broke a sigil, then that can't just be a coincidence. Therefore, this necromancer from back then must have faked their death. And rebranded themselves as the mustache-twirling, green-armored bad guy that we're facing now. Shouldn't you be doing the pointing thing now? I'm just not feeling it, Innkeeper. I know it doesn't add up, okay? I'm sorry, Archie. This isn't the revelation of truth that it should be. When you write your book, the detective should definitely be pointing at something. Pointing. Yes, I'll write that down. Good. Poor Melly. I can't believe we couldn't find anything. Who taught you that word, Melly? Wouldn't you like to know? Ooh, she's in trouble. Oh well. What do you plan on doing now? We need a new perspective. Maybe there's something we haven't considered yet. That's why we brought some of our research materials with us. Wouldn't a library be better for this? Well, maybe. But there wouldn't be enough space to set up the conspiracy board. You brought the board here. Yep. Thanks for letting us set up here, okay? I'll be in the back. Bye! I hope it's okay for us to take up some of your space. It's fine, Archie. You can go ahead. Much appreciated, Innkeeper. Well, don't you look chipper? It's good to see you too, Una. You can spare me the pleasantries. Long day? No, I was just never really into all this research mumbo-jumbo. I was surprised when I heard you volunteered for the research group. Your info-gathering game is getting weak, Innkeep. I just chose activity that's the least hassle. Too much exercise isn't good for the retirement spirit. But I don't need to tell you that, do I? Before you get another word out of me, though, I'll need something to get my energy back. That whole frantic research atmosphere really tired me out. Something to bring your streak back. Got it. Okay, we'll do the Southern Brawler. Here, for all that heavy-duty crocheting you're doing, I feel like I could crochet gloves for an entire army with this. You got some more adventures stashed away in those back rooms of yours? Just some more frantic researchers, I'm afraid. So, what else have you been up to? Just making sure Grace and Scully don't work themselves into an early grave for the most part. Any news on that front? Are you in the mood to be underwhelmed? Listening to what my patrons want to share, whether good or bad, is a key part of my job. Spoken like a good little innkeep. As for the research, not many surprises there, to be honest. The damage that breaking the sigils did is pretty much irreversible, as expected. That teleportation spell Grace is looking into is also not getting any less dangerous. Even with all the modifications she's making, there's still a good chance of it backfiring. And by good chance, I mean like 70%. What kind of backfiring are we talking about? Like everything blows up and fireworks are fun? Like killing you? Like killing you instantly. Exactly. Oh, I don't think I've ever seen Una be scared. How are Scully and Grace feeling about everything? Like they're taking it in stride, or they're just too stubborn to give up, I'm not sure. That sounds like them. What about you? Me? All of this must be pretty disheartening. I mean, not really. These kinds of doomsday scenarios just lose their impact after a while in this business. I've lived my life, I've made my choices. Now I'm just doing what I want either way. If the end of the day comes knocking and I'm on my porch, crocheting and drinking, I'll have no regrets. But you're not on your porch. You're here, looking after the people trying to avert that doomsday scenario. Ugh, I can't believe I had to hear that from you. Leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I could offer you another drink to wash it down. No thanks. Unfortunately, you've got a point. I guess I got swept up in all this a little. Sure is weird. What is? Caring. Not like I need to elaborate, preaching to the choir and all that. I don't know what you're talking about. Sure, whatever. Let me just ask you this. As you are, will you have no regrets when all this is over? You couldn't just let me have the last word, huh? No way in Okay, so we locked more character information for Una. Where's she at? She's right here. Okay, so for someone who initially didn't care about saving the world, she's actually quite involved now. Even though she denies that she cares or that these doomsday scenarios scare her, seeing her actual emotions begin to shine through really helps, really makes me happy. I bet her autobiography will be an absolute page-turner. I'll leave you to contemplate that, I guess. Are Melly and Archie here? In the back. I'll go see if the young'uns need some company. Man, it's really raining. Okay, what does it say? Guavere was the achievement? I mean, they don't look worse for wear. Are we missing anybody with them? Greetings. I mean, good mythical afternoon, adventurers. No, they don't look happy. I mean, he looks happy, and Baya's usually happy. Good afternoon, Innkeeper. Does this afternoon seem mythical to you? It seems... What? Sorry about that. We didn't have much time to dry off before coming in here. The floorboards should be able to endure it just this once. It's okay if you want to leave now, Baya. We all made it back safe. Okay. But please keep the blankets. I can make some soup. We should be good for now. Thanks, Baya. Where are you headed, Baya? The swamp. I want to talk with my friends. I see. Goodbye. Let a tree know if you need any more help. I will come. Stay safe, Baya. Spit it out already. You've been chewing on this ever since we escaped from that mountain. It's just... I feel bad, alright? So... Wait, where's Kyle? Had a good time? That doesn't sound too good. Isn't that pretty obvious? Right. More importantly, have the others come back yet and keep... They haven't. It's a waiting game then. Great. My favorite. Alright, Innkeep. This is where you come in with a drink. I'm going to explode if we keep brooding like this. We're not that rogue fellow. And which of my drinks would be of aid? Not sure what could help soften the outcome of our quest, but maybe protection from disappointment, that might do. Certainly. Yeah, Kyle's not with them. And if I remember right, Kyle did go with them. Oh, I hope something didn't happen to him because of what I picked. I don't even remember what I picked at this point. I hope your disappointment will be just a distant memory after this drink. Thanks, this takes the edge off. Didn't realize my shoulders were so tense this entire time. Can I offer you two a drink as well? I'm fine. For now. Count me in, Innkeeper. I don't really want to think about it. But perhaps understanding where we failed wouldn't be a bad idea. I'll see what I can do. Oh, so they didn't... Their quest didn't go well. Okay, so that would be a sparkling nebula. This might be just what you're looking for to understand the meaning of everything. 42. What? Weird. I don't know where that came from. But this is good. My synapses are firing at the speed of light. Here's my conclusion. We might be really, I'm going to guess effed. Was it that bad? You don't even know the half of it. Wait, this can't just be it, right? Grace and the others should have figured something else out by now. You probably already have some quests in store for us for plan C, D, and X. I'm sorry, Hex. Archie and Melly couldn't find any new leads. And Grace and Scully are still at it, but from what I've heard, they haven't found much either. That's... Come on, Innkeeper, stop joking around. I don't think this is very funny. Neither do I. Then what are we even doing here? What? If the Innkeeper doesn't have any quests for us, why are we wasting time here? If you haven't noticed, the world might be ending soon. We failed to create the world-saving weapon. And now we're here to what? Have a nice chat? Oi, you're mighty close to overstepping there, wizard. Well, maybe someone needs to say it instead of just lazing around. Hex. Sit your arse down. This is no time to lose your cool. We aren't just here to chat. Information about the group that went to the Twilight Chasm will reach this end first. At this point, we need to know their fate. It would be foolish to go running around without a plan. So, are we cool? I'm sorry. Not actually a good look for a wizard to lose his head, is it? As long as you realize that yourself. While we wait for the others, I guess it's time for another story, Innkeeper. I'm looking forward to getting some context. Right. After our chat the other day, Kyle and I went to pick up Hex. I'm surprised to see Kyle isn't with you right now. He asked Baya to bring him to Morrow Castle on our way back. He seemed to need some alone time to say goodbye to Evelyn. Aren't you worried he'll get lost on his way back? Kinda. Though Hex drew him a pretty good map. Let's hope he doesn't forget how to read maps. Soon after, Care and Baya picked us up. They just stepped out of a tree right next to us. Baya was pretty excited to take us to the Highlands. Apparently, she's pen pals with the Yeti, and she never got the opportunity to visit. And then, whoosh. Whoosh? Yeah. One minute we're surrounded by nice and lush woods, and then the next, vast mountains. Snow. A lot of snow. You guys suck at descriptions. Our journey to the Highlands was so fast it's barely noteworthy. It was impressive. I mean, sure, evocation is obviously the superior school of magic. But I suppose such a feat of conjuration was pretty cool, even though nothing blew up. And then you had to keep babbling to Baya about it until we reached the village. Well, Grace would have killed me if I didn't ask for details. While the view was great, we were pretty disoriented. Even when we found the village Clay told us about, no one could point us towards the temple. Kara looked like she was getting ready to throw people around if they continued saying they couldn't help us. It was clear that no one there knew anything. Even though we still had no idea where to go, we left the village. That's when Baya let out this gut-wrenching scream. It sounded kind of like this. Okay. No noise there, but thanks. I really appreciate you replicating that scream. But why? Hey, you guys insisted I stay to tell the tale. Oh, Melly. Did someone die? Oh, hi, Lenny. Good to see you, Melly. No one died. Hex just got a little too excited. Whoopsies. I see. Well, make sure not to scream like that anymore. Or no one will know when you really need a detective on the scene. After all, you don't want to be the next boy who cried detective. I'll keep that in mind. I'll go back to the board then. Sobaya let out a scream. We had no idea why she did, but before she could explain, we heard some loud footsteps approaching. It was hard to see with the heavy snowfall, but a huge silhouette was making its way towards us. Care almost tore into it as soon as it was close. But before we knew it, Baya rushed forward. I almost attacked Baya's pen pal. You actually met the abominable Yeti? Really nice fellow. Also pretty good with directions. They pointed us towards the temple. When they did, I noticed their well-crafted ring made of something like opal. Couldn't help but ask about that. Turns out they got it from the temple. That really got the Yeti talking. We learned a bunch about the temple's jewelry-making business. And about how anyone approaching the stronghold unannounced would be seen as an enemy. Which is a horrible way to run a business. The Yeti explained that only a select group of trusted people are allowed on the premises. They didn't want to help us get in, though. Something about getting their jewelry buying rights revoked. Maybe Kyle also annoyed them a bit too much by asking for their names so many times. But at least we knew the way, and soon, with the invisibility finally kicking in, we saw it before us. Lo and behold, the Temple of where the flame of Leviathan is kept. Sounds blasphemous. The trek up there was brutal. It was so much walking, I thought my feet were going to fall off. It wasn't so bad, really. The winding path looked nice with all the sparkling snow. That's easy for you to say. You just vaulted right over all that rubble. You're too impatient. Kyle cleared the rubble away eventually, didn't he? Guess we did get to the gate eventually. It was closed, of course. A gigantic, wet slab of stone in weathered condition. If there's one thing I know about this sort of thing, it's that gates like this one are super inconvenient. Good thing we didn't want to waltz in through the main gate anyways. No, with the invisibility effect from our drink still active, we started to check for any other points of entry. There was so much rubble, we figured there must have been somewhere for us to slip through. Well, there wasn't. And I was already starting to feel the itch of the invisibility wearing off. We were running out of time. Come on, tell the innkeeper what you decided what we should do next. We might have tried to scale the temple walls. We made it close to the top. But then the stone started to crumble right around our hands. Hex was the first to fall, but it didn't take long for us to follow. Though it's good to fall with a wizard that can cast a spell to slow our descent rather than break our necks. And here I thought you guys just wanted a big group hug. If you want more group hugs, maybe cast that spell earlier than 5 feet before hitting the ground. Oh sure, I'll try practicing spellcasting while falling at terminal velocity more for next time. Well, you did manage it before we turned into a big puddle of adventurous soup. If only we had managed to land literally anywhere else. I didn't even know creatures that big lived out there. Me either. Right next to us, where what we had thought was a snow-covered mountain, an eye as big as Care opened. It was the guardian of the temple. It slowly lifted his massive head, and we realized that mountain path we'd been walking on earlier was no path but the body of the Guivere. Its snake body slowly unfurled from around the temple. While shaking the snow off itself, it revealed its pure white iridescent scales. For a few moments, it just stared at us. The gigantic opal embedded between its eyes shone with every color imaginable. What I wouldn't give to have worked with an opal of such fine quality. It's good to hear you guys had a mythical moment there. But I, for one, was worried about the overgrown snake with wings. The Guivere unfurled its wings from where they had been tucked against its body and rose into the air. An attack position. It struck with such speed we only avoided it thanks to Care's quick reflexes when she pushed us into the snow. All I could think about was that I didn't want to fight it. Not again. When it was getting back into position for another strike, I screamed our intentions out. I couldn't imagine the dragon's guardian would be indifferent to our objective. It didn't seem to care much about it, though. Or it didn't hear us. I didn't want to give up. We had to communicate with it in a way that it couldn't ignore. So we choreographed an expressionist dance. No. Not really. But that would have been a lot funner. In any case, instead of trying to fight it, I told the others to get moving and get our message across. by writing it in large letters in the snow. Ever tried to stomp out letters while a giant reptile is attacking you, Innkeeper? Heck of a core workout. I think I developed muscles where no muscles should ever develop. Watch out, you might become the first wizard to complete a push-up. And did it work? The push-up? No, the writing in the snow thing. Wasn't sure at first. But when the attack stopped, I saw it looking intently at what we had written. Then it launched itself in our direction again, but instead of trying to attack us, it dove into the snow. The ground beneath us started shaking until all of us were suddenly lifted on top of its head. I thought we were ascending to Tuat's realm for a second, not gonna lie. But instead we were just lifted higher and higher into the air, towards the temple. Soon we could see a tower emerging from the temple grounds. The Guardian must have understood us after all, because it was taking us to the only place I could have imagined the flame to be. Soon we were close enough for us to jump down from the Guardian, and then I saw the altar. Was the flame out? What did you see? That's the thing. We saw nothing. Nothing. No great flame of Leviathan. Just a devastated altar. An empty basin where the flame should have rested. We were so foolish. The clues were already there when we were approaching the temple. All the rubble, the poor state of the building. The flame was extinguished during the flood long before we ever set foot in the Highlands. I should have known that an eternal flame was too good to be true. It was all such a waste of time. You can imagine our shock at what we saw, Innkeeper. The realization slowly began to settle in. There would be no way of forging that weapon. Nothing to wield against the necromancer. Up there at the altar, everything was so quiet. The priest hadn't reached us yet. There was just the sound of the wind, and the crushing disappointment we were all feeling. The Guardian didn't need to say a word. I understood it either way. Whatever emotions we were feeling, they couldn't compare to the grief in the Guardian's eyes. Eventually, we were joined by some of the priests who confirmed what we had already surmised. They lost their main objective of worship on the day of the flood. At least our disappointment was somewhat softened by the warm meal the priest offered us. I think they felt bad for us. There's community in shared grief. They were pretty interested in that sword of yours as well. Considering everything we've learned in the last few days, the minor divinity of it feels hardly noteworthy. I'll cherish it nonetheless. Maybe I'm also just glad that it'll remain a memento of my grandma. It was stupid to think I could try to reveal her feats. Or rival her feats. But I didn't expect you to talk to those priests for so long. I've never seen you so forthcoming before, Rhea. Ain't exactly every day you get to see that kind of smithing mastery on display. The jewelry those priests were decked out in was a wonder to behold. Straight dipping. Dripping. No. Please don't. Hey, you don't complain when Inico says it. That level of craftsmanship is to be expected of Aura's people, I guess. They were really generous as well. Practically forced those opals on you. And that blueprint. You misunderstand that one, Kara. That was for ye. It's a sword blueprint that's been passed down since the conception of that temple. A form worthy of the dragon's might, as they put it. Then they wasted it. I know you won't hear it now, but if you ever feel different, it'd be an honor to forge it for you. We eventually got ready to head back. I was worried about the lack of trees around us, but Baya seemed unbothered. We headed out to the courtyard where slowly but surely she grew a whole tree. Its branches were stark white and covered in gleaming leaves. I asked her afterwards what kind of tree it was, but she just replied that it was the dream of the soil. Don't know what that meant. The priest looked very touched by its appearance. But we needed to be on our way, so into the tree we went. We stopped by Baez and they headed over here. So that's that. Never had such a depressing walk back to the tavern. Oh, quit your yapping. You were going on and on about this all the way over here, too. That's easy for you to say. After all, you got those gems. Great for your stupid competition. Some of us were a bit put off by the quest failing. Why don't you just come out and say what your problem is? My problem is that you're acting like everything's fine. Don't break my tavern. Did it stop? Seems like it. Is everyone okay? More or less. Yeah. What about Melly and the others? I need to... I'll go. Alright, thanks, Rhea. I'll take my leave. We told our story. There's no other reason for me to stick around. I know this is a hard time for all of us, but I need to check on Grace. Goodbye, Hex. It's getting late. There's always a room for you upstairs if you get tired, Care. It's fine. I'll keep you company. Things must be really dire if you're offering that. What do they say? Desperate times call for desperate measures? Okay, first star was the achievement. Oh, where's the one girl at? And he does not look happy, and he looks sad. And I mean, she looks normal. Welcome back. Keep it. Okay, I had a feeling, like, I felt like they could all do it, but I also had a feeling things were not going to go well, and there's still going to be, like, a final battle here, so it's good to see you too. Silent. Let's go, we'll just stay silent. I don't want to be sarcastic right now. I don't think I should be. Where are the others? We ran to Kyle outside. He's trying to calm Boy down. We didn't want him to throw up in your tavern. Did he have a panic attack? I hope Tia isn't giving him too hard of a time about it. I don't think she came back. She isn't, right? No. Where is she then? Gone. She's gone. She left? No. She's dead. Tia can't be dead. Stop joking around. This isn't funny. I mean, she can't be dead. You're right. She's way too stubborn to die. Well, she did. I'm sorry. That's awful. Yeah, you don't have to tell us that. Is anyone else? No. We got away before anyone else went down. That's good. What about Fable? Did you see them there? In the chasm, maybe? No. We didn't find them, though. What? I found a bunch of broken arrows not too far from the portal. They were all engraved with pretty flowers. I think they were there. They just didn't come back. I hope they're okay. Maybe with a drink, they would have been okay. What do you mean? You didn't make him a drink and keep... We had a bit of a fight. So you willfully endangered them? I had hoped it would stop them from going. Nothing could ever stop Fable from helping people, you idiot. I realize that now. You should thank the dragons. I care more about my friend's eardrums than I care about yelling at you. I already regret it well enough. Don't you worry. You better. If anything happened to them... If they end up like Alethea, I know. Me too. We shouldn't have left without her. Her body wasn't exactly cooperative. We couldn't have taken it with us if we tried. Don't call her that. What? An it. Clay. He's right. Have some respect. I'm just saying. Well, stop saying it. All right, you three. Calm down. No need to spill more blood. Please, tell us what happened. What does it matter? We abandoned her. That's what happened. We didn't do that. We sure abandoned the world. Our angel would be disappointed in us. It's not like we had much of a choice. You would say that, wouldn't you? What's that supposed to mean? You always run. Of course you wouldn't choose anything else. I ran because I have something to get back to, Clay. So did she. Okay, how about a drink for calming all those nerves? No. Time and place. I'll take one. Need to tell you what happened after all, even though I rather wouldn't. Got anything to make that easier? I'm running out of secrets, though. Don't worry, there's no need for trading today. I don't have anything to wash away the regret. But maybe I can get you something to make the words flow easier. Well, that's the, spoken heart. very emotional episode today. Because I was not expecting it to go as bad as it has. Here. Thanks for this little taste of normalcy. So I don't really know what to ask. Did you stop him? No. Oh. He was faster than us somehow. Millie and Baya drew us a map to the portal so we could get there quickly, but when we arrived, we found a note stapled to a tree. It read, "If you value your lives, go home." He knew you were coming, apparently. Jade and Tia argued about what to do, but we didn't exactly have a lot of options. So we went after him, right into the Twilight Chasm. It was... Calling it the realm of nightmares seems like an understatement in retrospect. Wouldn't have made it out without Voy. And Tia's light. We ran into that necromancer on his way back. Didn't even catch him before he got to Ur. He looked... unharmed. It's ridiculous how easy it must have been for him. In his hands, he held an axe shaped like a dragon's talon, pulsating with magical energy. It was smaller than I thought it would be. Magic weapons tend to be size adjustable. Oh, right. Maybe we would have stood a chance if we hadn't walked right into a cluster of nightmare creatures. I thought maybe they'd be a good distraction for him too, but the necromancer called on them for aid in the chasm's tongue. Voice said he promised them freedom and endless nightmares. And just like that, they sided with him and were up against a necromancer, a god's axe, and a horde of monsters. We thought... We were fast. Faster than even his new army. So we quickly cornered him and thought we would stand a fighting chance, but that magic cast some sort of slow spell on us. Not even one round in and we were reduced to our normal speed. At least we still had some defense. Tia was right. It helped protect us against a lot of blows we might not have survived otherwise. But we were still losing ground, not to mention the battle. He pushed us back towards the edge of the Twilight Chasm in the portal we had entered from. He almost got Voy at that point. Voy had just played some sick solo that momentarily charmed one of the monsters away from Clay when an axe landed in his shoulder. He was on the ground before any of us could get to him, and then the necromancer just stopped. Stared down at him like he was looking at a ghost. Maybe Voy reminded him of something. Maybe his dead effing heart. Maybe. It gave me enough time to pull Voy away and through the portal back to the moon pools. It's true, you know. You can see all the 7 moons reflected in their clear waters at once. It would have looked beautiful if it hadn't been for all the blood. And for the monsters swarming us left and right. We were trying to cut them down, but every time we killed one, he would just bring them back. Over and over and over again. And then... Clay finally found an opening. He cut down 4 creatures at once and got through to the necromancer, who was preoccupied with resurrecting a fallen giant. It should have been an easy hit, but Clay got reckless. That's when I saw the necromancer smile, saw him notice Clay approaching. I tried to call out, but I just wasn't fast enough. Just when Clay got within reach, the necromancer swung out with his axe, and it should have killed me. It should have killed me. I'm glad it didn't. Don't be. The axe hit Tia right in the chest as she shielded Clay with her body. She moved so fast. I think when she saw Clay in danger, she finally managed to break out of that slow spell. I saw she wanted to protect him, so I pushed Clay out of the necromancer's way. And as Tia lay there, her body in the pool of the astral moon's light, he brought the axe down again. You shouldn't have pushed me. She died to save you. I had to honor that. We might have been able to save her from dying if you hadn't. I wish that was true, too. We should have shielded her body so we could revive her. I think that would be a little hard to do now. Why is that? When she fell, the necromancer brought her back, just raised her up like a puppet, like it was nothing. She was looking right at me. She looked so sad, because I didn't save her. Why couldn't I save her? When I saw an undead Tia rise to her feet, her weapon and shield leveled at us, I knew we had to run. I couldn't risk losing anyone else. I called out for all of us to flee. Jade didn't want to leave until Voy started pleading with her while he was almost bleeding out. She helped me pull Clay away. I still think it was wrong. It was. It was indeed. It wasn't. I mean, I can see both sides of it being like they should have took a stand, but fleeing and living to fight another day is kind of, it's the smart thing to do in some retrospects. You know, you lost the battle, but you win the wars, so I'll go with it wasn't. Nils made the right choice. There would have been no point in losing you all too. Agreed. At least you got to live. After that, we made our way back here. We didn't know where else to go. I'm glad you all made it back, but I'm sorry you had to go through all that. Why did we have to? Why didn't Cassiopeia save us? Save her? The dragons are neutral. The dragons are... Sure are. The real effer is the madman who killed her. We have to go back. I don't think that's a good idea, bud. We have to. We have to retrieve her body. He can't have her. Now he can use her to navigate that stupid portal, and she would hate that. She would hate being turned into another monster he could use. If we can't get her back, we have to at least bring her here to give her a proper burial. We can't do that, Clay. We don't even know where they are right now. If we'd stayed, we might. But we didn't. Thanks to you. But it is what it is, right? You say we can't go back, so we can't change anything. We screwed up. We played right into his hands. All this power and strength and magic, and we didn't change anything. Hold on. I'm sure you did your best. What's the point of doing that if it doesn't save anyone? I can't even feel her anymore. The bracelet, it's just empty. There's just an absence where Tia should be. I feel like if we had just done something different, if we had been more stubborn, I don't know if you could have changed anything. Why do you sound so sure of that? I think the necromancer, I think he heard everything. What you planned, I mean. How could that even be possible? After you left, the jackdaw near my window, I think it was a spy. And it heard everything. What? How does that even happen? How did you not notice that? I don't know. I'm sorry. All I'm saying is it's not your fault the plan failed. He outsmarted us, all of us. So there's nothing we could have done. That can't be right. What's the point of all this then? If he knows everything, then we might as well give up. He has Ur's axe, he has an army of nightmare creatures and more. And she's gone. The only person who'd know what to do is gone. And we don't have a magic greatsword either. You gotta be kidding me. What? Magic flame was put out by the flood. So we've lost. It's over. Yes, not yet. He hasn't won yet either. Even if it feels like he has. We're still here, so we can still fight. We can still stand in his way. Hope won't only abandon us if we let it. You're right. Us giving up, that's not what she would have wanted. What she would have wanted was to live, to get a chance to be more than some pointless martyr. I want her back. Clay. No, I don't want to hear anything else from you. You didn't even notice a spying bird in your tavern, or maybe you did, who knows? You're dishonest with us all the time. Do you even really care about any of this? Of course I care. I can't afford to care. Of course I care. I care more than you could ever imagine. I wish I could bring her back too, Clay. Well, can you? No. What help are you then? Screw this. I'm done hearing excuses, and I'm done pretending we'll make it through this. Clay, please stay. Well, this is awkward. Can I have one of those drinks now? Don't want to go after him? If I was him, I'd kill all of us, so no. What kind of drink do you want? I don't know. Something fast, maybe? Didn't help with the fight, but might help my stomach. It's worth a shot, I guess. Oh, can I make her the hot chocolate? Let's see. Is there something special I have to put in it? I don't know if we have the means to do it. Yeah, see, we need a little something else in there. There you go, undo. You don't get too many drinks in my games. Let's see here. What do we have? Okay, let's see if that will work. There we go, hot chocolate. Fast and quick. Just how I like it. What kind of drinks did she like? Defense all the way. Adds up. Uh-oh, this does not look good, was the achievement. Oh, wow. Okay, everyone, we're going to go ahead and end it there. I'm really curious where this is going to... where this is going to go, because the Necromancer thwarted all of our plans thanks to the Jackdaw that was in there. I completely forgot about the Jackdaw. Yeah, so Quasar knew everything, and he was able to stop what our group had planned. And the group that went to go for the flame, I mean, that was already destroyed when the tsunami happened. So that plan was already thwarted. So he just really needed to know about the ones that were going to come through the Twilight Chasm for him. But I'm definitely looking forward to the next chapter, which is Act 4, The Wake, 23, The Wheel of Fortune, 34th of the Astral Moon. So, you know, leave me a comment. You know, how do you feel about that chapter? Like, that was a really, really rough chapter where, you know, our character really got a beat up. Because normally, you know, everybody listens to us and, you know, we make the drinks and we're, you know, an ear for everybody and we give advice. And this time they were like, I don't want your advice. Like, your advice was awful. You know, you don't have any backup plans. How did you not know there was a spy in your tavern? You know, like, you know everything, but you didn't know that. And we didn't give away that we talked to Quasar. So I'm really curious how they're gonna feel about that, because it's eventually gonna come out that he stopped at the tavern. It has to. So please leave me a like, subscribe if you haven't, and I'll see you next time. Bye.